Jillian Snider is an adjunct lecturer in law, police science and criminal justice administration at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. She joins us now from Naples in Florida. Thank you for your time. Firstly, your reaction.
I'm not surprised, being that the brothers were incarcerated for 35 years and their sentence has definitely opened the door to mitigating circumstances, being the allegations of sexual assault by their father, as well as the understanding and knowledge that the mother may have had. I do think that this case definitely required a second look and consideration by both the prosecutor's office as well as the judge.
With the passage of time, decades behind bars now, what changed in our understanding of the brothers' testimony about sexual abuse?
So I have done a lot of research both at my current profession, and obviously I was also a retired law enforcement officer, so I did have the unfortunate reality of interviewing victims of sexual assault over the course of my career with the New York City Police Department. And something that I saw both in my previous profession and also reviewing this case in its entirety, the books and the documentaries and the docu-series and the interviews by the brothers, there was most definitely something that stemmed within this environment that contributed. And again, the brothers at this point, as well as the attorneys, have claimed accountability, have claimed guilt, have tried to show themselves that they did something wrong. They wanted to be held accountable. But at the end of the day, there were circumstances that required an additional look and consideration on what they did. And at the age that they are today, 54 and 57, they're not at the age of someone that would recommit some violence to this extent, let alone commit any crime, understandably. But I think that's something that we have to consider as a society, as individuals may be victimized and individuals may then commit crime, but we need to understand what the root cause of that crime was, hold them accountable, and then again, allow them to rehabilitate themselves and re-enter society.
What did the documentary and series do for this case, do you think?
I think it reinvigorated some interest. I've done a few interviews on this specific case. I've written about this case. I've lectured on this case in my classes at John Jay College. And again, my students were not even born when this happened. I was, not to say my age, but I was alive during this case and the aftermath of the media surge. And I think that the documentaries, the Netflix series, the books that came after the fact, I think they sparked interest because at the time we were in an age of tough on crime. Someone does something wrong, they pay the penalty. There is no real understanding or even willingness to understand what may have contributed to this. And as most watchers know, this case actually underwent two separate trials, one in which there was a mistrial and then a subsequent trial in which the brothers were found guilty. In that secondary case, not as much allegation of what they said that they endured was introduced, which today in 2025, that may have led to very different outcomes. So I think the Netflix docuseries, as well as all of the other media surrounding this case, may have contributed to a more modernized empathy for what victims go through. And again, not excusing any criminal behavior, not excusing any violent response to something that you're enduring, but understanding that there are contributing factors to criminal violent behavior. And in this case, both the defense attorney as well as the defendants in this case have at this point admitted to guilt. They have admitted to committing these acts, and they have tried to rehabilitate themselves and try to be positive role models within the prisonal institution at the very least. And they are not, in a criminological perspective, those that would contribute to further criminogenic behavior. So I think that's really important. And I think this more modernized evolution of looking at the real root causes of crime, I think this is what has re-sparked interest, especially among the younger generation for this case.
Jillian Snider, adjunct lecturer in law, police science and criminal justice administration at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you.